Students at Brazil's Santa Catarina Federal University are on strike. 70% of classes have been canceled. It's been ongoing for 2 weeks. They made the decision to strike on September 10th in a huge assembly attended by thousands of students. The students are striking against a massive 30% cut to the university budget and the rollout of a government restructuring plan called Futurice, which they say is an attempt to privatize the university system. The Santa Catarina Federal University is one of the top 20 schools in Latin America. This is the first university student body in Brazil to declare an ongoing strike against the Bolsonaro government. They're hoping other universities will join them.
The universities will not make it to the end of the year with the budget slashed. And there's a possibility they won't make it halfway through the next year with the proposed budget. So because of the urgency, we decided to organize and propose this strike as an historic tool to stand up to what is being imposed upon us.
Teachers spoke out in support of the striking students last week during a university-wide teacher assembly. Some particularly railed against the recent elimination of thousands of scholarships and research grants by Education Minister Abraham Weintraub.
We can't let a government that is burning the Amazon, burning our mountains, and burning our dreams contaminate the dreams of our students. What Minister Weintraub is doing with the Brazilian postgraduate students is terrorism. You don't do that. It ends the dreams of students who are just a year from finishing their masters, and they don't know if they'll be able to continue or not because they don't know if there will be PhD programs in this country. If there is no science, there is not country, and there is no sovereignty. We have to stand up now.
The teachers, however, voted against joining the students. Most classes, nevertheless, are canceled. The students may be on strike, but they're not staying home. Ongoing activities, events, and meetings are being held to organize and hash out next steps.
Nós temos uma gama diversa de mentes de diversas áreas do saber e que poucos se comunicam num dia a dia.
We have a diverse range of minds from different areas who don't usually communicate. So the strike is a moment these people who are worried about education are coming together. They're meeting and organizing in various working groups: art, internal communication, foreign relations, legal.
De arte, de comunicação interna, de articulação externa.
Across campus, several days a week, pharmacy students visit with patients waiting to be seen at the university hospital. Some of their companions have already lost scholarships from the budget cuts.
That's why we're here, because you deserve to hear about what's happening from us, the students. We are on strike, but that doesn't mean we're staying home. We want to study, but we want to be sure we can continue the semester or have the funds for next year, which is why we are on strike and speaking with the community.
The funding cuts are already taking their toll. The university's subsidized school cafeteria is set to be closed. This will hit poor students hard, as the highly inexpensive meal costs less than half a US dollar, and it's something they often can't do without. Students are also afraid that if Bolsonaro's Futurice program is imposed, the university may start charging for its medical services.
All of the beds right now at the hospital are public, and no one pays. But if this project is put into effect, many of the spots could go to private insurance plans. In other words, people will have to pay for medical care at the public hospital.
Under Futurice, federal universities must acquire partial funding from private businesses and entities. The program was announced in July. In an overflowing school-wide university council meeting earlier this year, the university overwhelmingly opposed the plan. University professors and deans have expressed major concerns because they weren't consulted, and because it could put university administration in the hands of private entities, investors, and businesses. They say it could impact how teachers are hired, the classes that are offered, and the direction of the university itself.
Não dá para ignorar que esse é o projeto que está em curso com relação a uma das principais
You can't ignore the fact that this project is being rolled out against one of the main fronts of resistance that any authoritarian government has to confront. We lived through the experience of the federal universities during the military dictatorship. The main resistance against the regime was created through the federal universities.
Era o espaço em que você ainda conseguia, de alguma forma, criar uma resistência, né?
For many of those here, Futurice is really a political tool to gut funding for humanities departments, sociology, and philosophy, which Bolsonaro has long accused of being hotbeds of Marxist teachings. With a greater dependence on private funding, Bolsonaro could ensure that investors put their money where they think it's a good bet: business, engineering, maybe medicine.
A gente acredita que mobilize a sociedade em torno desse grande risco que é.
We need to organize society against this great risk, which means handing over its greatest ability to create a sovereign future, and that is with the public and autonomous universities. A university that can manage its resources and define where it's going to invest its money, in what research and specialization, and define its curriculum. And all of this, which is the foundation of the public and autonomous university, is at risk with the creation of this project FutureSay.
Students have vowed not to back down. The strike will continue, and they're expected to join more national rallies in early October.
Os estudantes vão votar você na linha.